All right, a very good day to you folks here on SpeedGaming 5. Welcome to a return of the Metroid Prime Echoes Randomizer Weekly Race. We are back with what we'd like to call a Season 2 of the Echoes Weeklies, and we have on stream for you today Gollop and Mr. Miguel. I am Captain MD, and today I'm joined by Thoris. How you doing today?
I'm good, thank you, Captain. How are you?
Fantastic. We have just kicked off the race time room, so we will be starting things off in a minute. Now, we would like to explain some changes that are coming to the Echoes Weekly. Starting this week, we are doing a cycling settings with odd and even weekly settings akin to what you folks in the Prime 1 randomizer community are used to seeing for their Sunday weekly races. For our odd weekly settings today, we are going with a random start up to 1 to 3 starting items and random two-way elevators.
So expect a lot of confusion when you try to go to Great Temple and end up in Sanctuary.
Indeed.
And we do also have a caveat that final bosses have been removed for this set.
Yeah, we had some quick reaction polls thrown up in the Discord over the course of the last few hours for everybody to get their thoughts in on ideal settings, and hilariously enough, that was the setting that was the closest contender. We start with Light and Dark Beam.
That basically means we can start anywhere.
We start in Aegon, probably in Pirate Base. Oh, we are starting in Oasis Access.
Oh, that's
so we are
Oasis.
right next to Doomed Entry.
So the concern around Doomed Entry is we don't have a like space jump or anything like that, so getting around is going to be a pain. And we don't have missiles either to blow open that cover if we fall down.
Yeah, so unfortunately, if you do fall, there's no way back up. So Mr. Miguel just electing to take a death and reset. But we get Spider Ball in Doomed Entry. There is probably logical progression in Storage D if I had to hazard a guess.
Yeah, because I don't even think we can get to the end cache from here without space jump.
No, we cannot. And down below, we have a light ammo tank in Battleground. Now, both runners have picked up that Spider Ball and are going to be, at least I think Mr. Miguel picked it up. Yeah, Mr. Miguel picked it up. So both runners have picked up Spider Ball, and now Gollop is attempting to return to the light portal in surprisingly close fashion. Mr. Miguel not doing much differently there. So yeah, some very tight early Dark Aegon plays here from our runners.
Yep, the Dark Aether is dangerous. That's why we always like to have at least an energy tank coming into Dark Aether. Our runners are, of course, experienced enough, so one attack is fine, but it still gets a bit close.
Yeah, Mr. Miguel's experience is especially more for typical speedruns at any percent, but has chosen to come back and join us here for the start of our season 2 randos. Very much to our excitement here at home, especially given the start we have now. And we have a big house today. We've got a total of 15 racers.
Yep, with the randomizer tournament coming to its close, we might see that more people will be joining the weeklies instead.
Now, without power bombs or annihilator beam, runners do have to kind of take it a bit slow. Dark Sam is cooperating a little bit with Gollop and not doing a invincibility attack, but Mr. Miguel is the first to defeat Dark Samus. Gollop not far behind, and Space Jump in Storage D, so that's the no-effort way of getting Spider Ball. Now, with Space Jump, the only thing we can do here is we can check Storage B, and we can check Command Center from the gate leading out, but unfortunately, the problem with that is we have to do some fancy shenanigans with lowering the gate, activating these gates over here, and reloading the room, and so it's doable, but mildly annoying.
Yeah, because we don't have our missiles yet, so we can't even get into into the security room to lower the blast shield.
That would be bombs in command center. Interesting spot for them. So to answer a question in chat about what replaces the items they started with, the items are replaced with energy transfer modules because they literally do nothing. So yeah, you can see both runners defeating all the pirates, lowering the gate, and then reloading the room. And this will force the gate back up, and in this way they can both retrieve bombs without having to go under these grates, which need either bombs, boost ball, or power bombs to get through. Another nice thing is by doing so, the electric gateways are disabled, so they can just roll right on through and pick up their bombs.
So where do we go from here? Do we go back to maybe Encash, or do we continue on to bioenergy?
Well, with Spider Ball and Light Beam in tow, we can actually escape labs and go to Dark Aegon Temple. But I would say we'll see what our runners decide to do. Mr. Miguel is returning back to Dark Aegon and going to Encash 1. We haven't even gotten to the meat of the action yet, since we don't even know where the elevators lead to this time around. And Gollop is going straight for something here in Central Mining Station, and we find Sonic Boom in Encash 1. And we get our first logical missile launcher in Central Mining Station. That should be in logic with just Light Beam and Space Jump. Good thing Gollop picked up Spider Ball before coming here and not lowering the energy fields, otherwise that would have required a BSJ to get up. Not a hard BSJ, mind you, but a BSJ nonetheless.
The alternative would have been to actually fight all the pirates, and well, that takes a lot of time. We don't have time for that.
Yeah, Dark Beam does really help, but yeah, we still don't want to do that. Alright. Mr. Miguel now seeing the light ammo tank in Battleground. With bombs, we can now access the rest of labs, as you mentioned, so I think that's what Mr. Miguel's going to probably do next, if not go out into Aegon Temple. We'll see. First energy tank shows up in Storage B. To answer question chat, what is a BSJ? It's shorthand term for what is known as a bomb space jump. It is a maneuver where you bomb jump and then you obstruct the camera with a wall between Samus and the camera, allowing you to unmorph instantly. And if you can get that instant unmorph within 2/5 of a second after a bomb jump, you can still jump. The game does still consider you grounded until for 24 frames. And in doing so, you can get extra height in a space jump. Now, bombs... I'm sorry, you first.
I was about to say, it's definitely a finicky trick. It takes a lot of practice and patience to get it down.
Indeed. It should be noted that bomb space jumps are not in logic in these settings, so while our runners may do them, they are not required. And we get our first Sky Temple key in Ventilation Area A with a Red Temple key up here in Bioenergy Production.
Your first Sky Temple key is free, but we've all seen from the tournament that that's not necessarily a good thing.
Not at all. Ooh, Gob tried to get that switch down before the Metroid swipe, but unscanned a little early. And Mr. Miguel is immediately going to go to Aegon Temple to retrieve the item inside, and it is another Sky Temple key.
I did not think Gollum made it to that key. I generally thought that Metroid grabbed them midair.
Nicely done.
Also worrying saying that that's a Dark Aegon key. And that's our first one.
Mildly concerning. Now, unfortunately, because Mr. Miguel picked up this item before leaving, picked up the energy controller item before leaving, before fighting Bomb Guardian, he must also now deal with Bomb Guardian and bees! We're going to see Mr. Miguel do the Dark Beam strat on Bomb Guardian, which allows you to basically stun lock him. Like so.
I mean, it works.
And for that, we get, please don't be another Sky Temple Key, Amber Translator. Excellent
Now, do you go
pickup.
back and read the hint?
Excellent pickup. The hints indeed are very valuable, typically in Echo's Randomizer. For those not familiar with the hint system in Echo's Randomizer, reading the Lumineth lore terminals is one of 3 different ways you can get a hint on where certain items or keys may be. And today we see the Dark Visor can be found in Dark Aegon Wastes, and we have not seen that yet, so that is good information.
Could be on our friend the Jump Guardian. It could be in the other ink hash that's normally locked behind the Annihilator Beam. Or, even worse than that, Feeding Pit.
Oh, yes. Now, to answer a question in chat, other ways to get hints are from the dead Lumineth Key Bears. There are 9 total, 2 in each of the sub-areas of the world and 3 in Temple Grounds. And they will reveal what their ink cache in the Dark World contains. Furthermore, there are the hints at Sky Temple Gateway, much like the artifact hints in Prime 1 Rando, that will give you the exact locations of the Sky Temple keys.
Which we might not need at the rate we're going, because that's Miguel up to 3, finding the 3rd one inside the mine shaft.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about this. I was hoping that our first weekly for the next season would not be a Cetus Frius, as I call them. We're going to see our first Key Bear hint from Gollop from Dark Oasis, which reveals there's a key in there. Ooh.
That's not something you want to see.
No, it is not. We have another hint in Mining Station A that reveals a Morbus is guarding Sky Temple Key 6.
+1 for a Morbus.
Ah,
and also +1 for Parabon Guardian. God, here we go. Here we go. It's going downhill from here.
Oh, yes. Now, if anybody is curious as to why a key in a Curse Lake... Oh, hey, Super Missiles. A key in a Curse Lake is not a good thing because... not a Curse Lake. Dark Oasis is a bad thing because the item in Dark Oasis, A, needs Light Suit and Dark Visor, and B, does not become visible until after you have retrieved the item from Powerbomb Guardian. So, watch out. Now, Mr. Miguel also revealed to us, actually no, we already commented on supers. But yeah, this is looking like a really good equipment seed. We might just have a lot on our bosses to kill list for this event. I did not see what was in Mining Station A, unfortunately. But it looks like Mr. Miguel is attempting a multi-BSJ onto some standable terrain in order to retrieve it. It is a missile tank, and with main missile launcher not being required, that gives Mr. Miguel the ability to fire missiles.
Yeah, he's probably aware that the main missile launchers were
Fairly safe bet. They could also be Seekers here in Mining Station Access, which would also count in the logic as a valid missile launcher in these settings.
I think our runners will be eager to pick up their second missile tank because the priority drop system does not care until you get to 10.
Alright, we got another hint from Mining Plaza that says the Hive Temple keys are irrelevant. Usually. Looked like an ammo tank in Mining Plaza. Couldn't really see it that well.
Yeah, I would have said ammo or missiles, just nothing important.
Alright, Golub will now be retrieving their third Sky Temple key. And Mr. Miguel's going to go ahead and peek Transport Center. Ooh, using the angled terrain for a speed boost without a boost ball. Interesting. And
Speaking of this ball,
as an insult to injury, there is boost ball.
ask and you shall receive, Captain.
Indeed. With all this equipment, I'm very curious to know where this next elevator will take us out of Aegon Entrance. Boost is in Transport Center, which is the room with the giant half-pipe and dark portal next to the elevator from Aegon to Torvis.
Very nice. And then come back to the light world and then open the gate and Transport Center. Golub also receiving the bad news that a Morbus is required for a Sky Temple key.
Unfortunately. Alright, so Mr. Miguel now going to read the hint out of Portal Terminal, which informs us. Let's see if it's any more good information. Seeker is exactly 4 rooms away from Dark Aeon Waste's Trial Grounds. Trial Grounds is the...
Okay, I got it.
It is the dark version of...
Okay, thank you.
give me a second here. It's the dark version of...
Isn't it the Broom Closet?
No, Trial Grounds is the dark room of Mining Station B. So if we take tunnels into account, I do believe that puts Seekers either in Crossroads or dueling range. Because, yeah, there's no way to get from Trial Grounds to Trial Tunnel, so... And if it is Crossroads, it is already in play. If it is dueling range, it is also free, so... It looks like our runners are about to get free Seeker missiles today as well.
That would be interesting then, because that gives them more than one option of leaving Aegon, and depending on what elevator they pick, maybe good or maybe bad.
And that looks like a cheeseburger up... Oh, that is Dark Visor up top in Crossroads. So that's going to be Seekers in dueling range. So, wow, this is a stacked Aegon. A little more stacked than my seeds that I generate are used to being. So Mr. Miguel's going to immediately... go ahead and pick that up, and then return to the Dark Aegon and continue the loop. And with Seekers soon to be in tow, assuming they are in dueling range and we're not misreading our rooms, if they are in dueling range, then that means that we're going to have access to hints once we find Temple Grounds and the right translators. For example, if the elevator... Either elevator leading out of Aegon currently leads to Torvis Gate or Torvis Quadrant, they will be able to go check hints.
It will be a perilous journey, but it will be worth it, even if you die at the end, because knowing where your Sky Temple key hands just gives you confirmation of what items you need, what items you can skip.
Indeed. This also satisfies our Dark Visor in Aegon hint, and it's in a much less trolly location than we were all hoping it would be. We got a simultaneous save here coming from both of our runners. Golub has elected to not return for Dark Visor and Boost Ball yet. Probably will do so on the way out, but that does give Mr. Miguel a temporary speed advantage here.
Grapple beam. We saw a lot of those the other day.
And with final bosses disabled, we may end up not seeing Screw Attack today, but only the seed will tell. I did not know you can energize Lightbringers. You learn something new every day, folks.
I mean, it's a crystal. There's another Sky Temple key. That's 4. We know where the Morbus one is, so that's 5. This is not looking like it's going to be a horrendous seed after all.
Nah, even if there is a Sky Temple key in Dark Oasis, with Spider Ball and Boost Ball, Power Bomb Guardian is generally not that much trouble. It would be easier if we had Cannonball, which is in the item pool. For logic and item pool settings, we're still using our tournament settings for the time being. So a few tricks are enabled on the beginner difficulty, the rest are set to not expected.
I'm guessing that also means our Power Bomb count is still sitting at 3 for main, and then we've lost a Power Bomb expansion for the Cannonball item.
Yes. And we have a vanilla Aegon key here in the broom closet.
What do you know? We already know a Morbus is required.
And I've said it before, but typically if there is an Aegon key in the broom closet, it's because a Morbus is required. I mean, I don't have any factual data to back that up, but it certainly seems like it.
It might be something we have to start adding onto the tracker on top of boss counts.
If a Morbus is required, how many times is there an Aegon key in the broom closet? Alright, Golub burning all of their light beam ammo and basically just annihilating some boss that's already at low HP. Okay, actually they're shooting at an unloaded Jump Guardian. An invisible Jump Guardian hitbox that's still there, but Mr. Miguel is going to go check Warrior's Walk for another Sky Temple key. What's going on here?
And Jump Guardian did, of course, have our secret missiles.
Alright, Mr. Miguel is going to have to play a little carefully to get to a pickup here before running out of health. With 30 health, you have about 5-ish seconds of... You have 5 seconds of Dark Aether time, so it is usually enough to grab stuff. But now Mr. Miguel's going to go and fight Jump Guardian, while Golub is going to go ahead and route in a quick in-cache 4 check. Or not in-cache 4, going to check the Battleground cache here.
Remember, Golub chose to not go back and pick up this ball or the Dark Visor, so this is a strange one.
Ah, yes. That is true. Mr. Miguel might route that in after picking up some extra missiles, because he's still running at 5. So the end result to that is no, only 1 super missile at a time per drop. Until that Seeker Launcher comes up, because that does add an extra 5 as well.
That's Miguel just picked up Seeker Mist. The Seeker Launcher. It's on Jump Guardian, so I think we may have got a room wrong.
No, it's 4 rooms away, because it's Dueling Range, the tunnel before Dueling Range, Dark Mining Plaza, Junction Site, and then Judgment Pit. So yeah, that's 4 rooms.
Yeah, okay, that does make sense now. I do my usual. I look at a map, I count the rooms and go, that doesn't seem right. And it is right.
You know, when the proximity hints were developed in 2.0, they threw me off for some time as well. So, Mr. Miguel just pushing that pirate out of the way. With
In
final
fairness, he
boss...
jumped in front of a moving vehicle.
More like casually strolled. Mr. Miguel's going to check our first elevator here, which takes us to Sank Quadrant. That is a usable elevator with Dark Visor and Seeker missiles. That is access to GFMC. Unfortunately, that's all it's access to because we are still missing power bombs or screw attack to break down the gate. And we do not have the correct translator to access the Sank Gate elevator. It does, however, give us 2 items. In 3 items, actually. Phase on Grounds only needs Dark Visor and Space Jump and Grapple Beam, which they do have. To answer a question, chat, the goal of this seed with final bosses disabled is simply to get all 9 Sky Temple keys, and then you may dot done once you have entered the light beam entering Sky Temple. Golub, meanwhile, electing to go check Storage C here really fast, which is perfectly in logic courtesy of Boost and Spider Ball, but electing to do a quick... excuse me, a quicker scan dash. Having a little trouble with this one.
Yep, those Metroids are not helping.
Yeah, no power bombs does make this room a little bit annoying, but looks like Mr. Miguel had a Seeker missile issue and is attempting to get some drops off of the bugs. The second enemy will start dropping stuff, but with no missiles, there should be a 10 drop in here somewhere. Key word, there should be a 10 drop in here somewhere. There it is.
Yeah, occasionally the drop system decides, you know what, we're going to do what Prime 1 did and just not give you what you need.
And in Mining Station B, we have, that looks like a power bomb tank.
Did have the shape of a burger.
Yeah, that's definitely a power bomb tank. Not a visor that I thought it was before. These Metroids are just feasting on Golub, but Mr. Miguel getting a perfect BSJ, multi-BSJ, I believe, to get this item in Mining Station B. So that's a power bomb now available for a Storage A check, which has some extra missiles, which I'm pretty sure Mr. Miguel is not going to say no to.
So they also decided to double jump again after landing up there to avoid the Krayley, because those are nasty little things.
Yeah, they don't, you don't have invincibility frames, and I'm pretty sure they deal 5 to 10... Oh! Wow. Did I mention Cetus Frius? Because it is looking Cetus Frius. That is main power bombs at GFMC compound, which is a way into Temple Grounds from that Sank Quadrant elevator.
Yeah, so the logic could actually be expecting you to go that way to get to GFMC, and then pass out the rest of the progression that way.
Yeah, besides translator issues, just about every elevator minus Lower Torvis is workable at this point. So if the elevators lead to anywhere else in Torvis or to the Torvis section of Temple Grounds or Sank Quadrant, as we've just seen, those are workable elevators. Sank is pretty much wide open right now, once we find it. Mr. Miguel, I think, was thinking about checking the Ventilation Area A elevator, but has elected to turn around. What was in Storage C, by the way? I didn't see if Golub succeeded.
It was just a missile tank.
Ooh. Yeah, Storage C, Golub may have been thinking a lot about their last tournament race, which was last night, where Dark Visor was in Storage C, and that ended up being the real difference maker, actually. And the other elevator leads to Torvis Quadrant, also a workable elevator. I should probably write these down real quick.
So yeah, the potential there's a play for the Sky Temple gate hunt.
Yeah, 1E tank Suit is doable to reach the Sky Temple Gateway. The only problem is you're going to have to stop for a minute a couple of times in the light fields just due to the amount of damage you take and how much time you need to scan. Admittedly, only a few hints, but even still, it's been a significant amount of time since the last save. But it looks like Mr. Miguel's going to check him out.
I mean, we have seen this type of play make or break seeds.
Yeah, and again, these runners absolutely, these two especially, know absolutely what they're doing. And Mr. Miguel's general knowledge of the game, doing any percent and whatnot, really makes plays like these much easier than they look much easier than they actually are. And we'll see if Mr. Miguel decides to just go ahead and quickly check defiled shrine before proceeding. It looks like that is going to be a yes. Hoping for maybe an energy tank or a suit. Both would be very nice right about now. And indeed, Mr. Miguel gets a very well-placed energy tank.
Don't think anyone would turn down a health recharge at that stage.
Indeed. Call up understanding the news about power bombs, and yeah, with 2 energy tanks, there is definitely enough time to retrieve all the hints and return to the light field. In fact, Mr. Miguel's just going for it right now. This should be enough energy to do it. We only have 4 hints to read, so... And we know one of them is on a boss, so let's see where the other 3 are located if one of them is in fact in Dark Oasis. We have sand processing free. Main research in Sank, that is free. Dark Aegon Temple, we know. And Phazon Grounds, so it is not in Dark Oasis. So the only reason Dark Oasis may be required is if that key is an Aegon key. And looks like Mr. Miguel's actually going to take an intentional death, so must have saved recently. Probably saved right before Aegon entrance while we weren't looking. But, yeah, that's pretty gentle. Like, we literally just need to find Sanctuary. Whichever entrance we get, it's workable. Now, of course, the elevators can absolutely troll and mess things up. But it looks like Mr. Miguel is now going to go to Temple Grounds via the Sank Quadrant elevator, rather. The 2 elevators we know of is that Aegon Temple leads to Sanctuary... not Aegon Temple. Aegon Portal leads to Sanctuary Quadrant in Temple Grounds, and that Aegon Entrance leads to the Torvus Quadrant in Temple Grounds. So, Meeting Grounds, basically. Looks like Mr. Miguel might be going back for sand processing before just dipping out of Aegon, possibly to never come back, we'll see, besides the Morbus. Now, refresh my memory. Did Mr. Miguel go check the broom closet?
I can't remember.
After Seekers? Because I know he went to go check Warrior's Walk. Alright, Gollop now retrieving Boost Ball. And yeah, Mr. Miguel's just making a beeline for sand processing to grab that now. Might be thinking about not in cache storage C while he's at it. But yeah, trying to think. Right now, we're only missing... If you want to be really particular, we're only missing 1 Aegon key. After that, it's pretty much seat over, depending on where the sanctuary elevators are. We might need a translator.
Yeah, I think the perfect game is we find the elevator that is normally lower Torvus to Sanctuary, because that would take you right out at main research.
Sank Vault, yeah. It could be that Torvus Gate just leads to Sank Vault, because we can get to the Torvus Gate elevator with this equipment from the Meeting Grounds elevator. Alright, Gollop is trying to get a missile refill, just in case this elevator coming out does require secret missiles, which we actually do know it does.
I was going to say, I don't remember Mr. McGill picking up the key inside bioenergy. I think he may have scanned it and left.
Mr. McGill, I don't think it's been to bioenergy production yet. Yeah, because I think, the pirates are still there. So, unfortunately, a bit of a missile shortage here, so won't be able to quickly super missile these pirates. Is going to like to try and get a drop off the Metroids. And get a triple kill in one shot. Well done. And the main power bombs were in the crate at GFMC, and Gollop is electing to dupe those for a grand total of 6 power bombs.
It would be 7, because the main ones give you 3.
Plus the expansion, yes, 7. And on the ship, we have more missiles. Now, unfortunately, Gollop can't just powerbomb the gate and get out. Unfortunately, because the layering in rooms are very oddly specific, you have to go up to the gate, which makes the scan post visible, then leave, and then turn around. And reload the room. Then you can powerbomb the gate. Is Phazon Grounds Annihilator Beam locked? No, Phazon Grounds does not need Annihilator Beam. It only needs portal usage and grapple and Dark Visor. At minimum. Of course, if you don't
you
have
need
Dark...
Screw Attack to get the item?
No, there are actually Dark Visor platforms on the in the path. It's actually it's meant to be picked up with Dark Visor and Space Jump. But you can, most runners by that point in the game just screw attack to it.
That would explain it. I did not know there was platforms there.
Alright, we're finally getting a look at the Temple Assembly Site neighborhood after 36 minutes, but with almost nothing left to find besides an Aegon key at this point. What is up top there in Temple Assembly Site? It does not look like it's important enough for Gollop to pick it up.
Yeah, one of the benefits of being a commentator is we see everything, whereas Gollop doesn't have the information we know, so Gollop is still looking for pretty much anything that can be considered a main item.
Alright, Gollop electing to check the hive chambers real quick. This can be done without Violet Translator, just have to take it the long way around. And Mr. Miguel now sees that actual missile launcher and will retrieve it up, and now finally has the ability to fire missiles. No, we're kidding.
That would be an interesting setting to just randomly switch on someone. It's like, oh yeah, main launchers are required.
It's actually funny you say that, because up until the tournament, we usually had for the weeklies main launchers required, but folks, with the tournament, it was requested that we turn them off, and we adopted that from the tournament. So, and for the most part, folks, or I should say, not even for the most part, folks have been sitting well with it for the moment. So not much going on in the hive chambers this time around. Ooh, there's a key in Battleground. That could be the last Aegon key. If that's really the last Aegon key, though, then literally the game just threw everything at you in Aegon with power bombs to get out of GFMC. That's it. Also, Mr. Miguel absolutely just casually 3BSJ'd over the gate leading up to Pirate Labs without opening it from the front.
Yeah, gates, walls, who needs them? They're just suggestions anyway.
And GameCube Prime, absolutely. Gollop is actually about to retrieve this key as well. We'll see if this is in fact the Aegon key we seek.
I mean, we did get the hint earlier that there's a hive key in here. But we don't know if it's this chick or maybe that's the one in Poison Bog. We never know. Or not Poison Bog. The Oasis.
I don't. We did see a hint for the hive keys. I don't remember if Dark Aegon was a place where they were that had the potential to be found. And it looks like Mr. Miguel has returned to Sank Quadrant. And it is indeed an Inghive key. Ooh, that could have actually been a real difference maker just now, if that was the last take-on key.
Gollop needs to be careful not to get swatted.
Yeah, those spank weeds deal 20 damage, and if they hit you, yeah, they're gonna hurt. Nice lack of energy drops for two blade pods there.
Yep, now would be a very unfortunate time to take a death.
Alright, Mr. Miguel is electing to go take a quick peek at Grand Wind Chamber. This item is not... this item actually is in play, from the other side, because we have Super Missiles, Grapple Beam, Secret Missiles, and Boost Ball. What you just saw Mr. Miguel do there is what's known as an extended dash, where you essentially scan dash after a bunny hop, and then bunny hop again, while holding R to preserve your high speed. It's actually an amazingly useful trick. Oh, but Mr. Miguel has found the other Aegon key in Wind Chamber Gate. And that's... Go mode.
40-minute go mode?
Yeah.
Yep. Everyone who's been taking part in the tournament has been like, where has this seed been all this time?
Yeah, that's... this is one of the fastest go modes I've ever seen.
I mean, the only thing we're missing is just knowledge of where this access to Sanctuary comes from.
Yeah, that is literally all we're looking for right now. Although, here's the... and there is only... The funny thing is, there is only... Oh, it's just chilling in Aegon Temple.
It is Spider Side. So, Mini Gyro is not going to be open for them.
Yeah, Gollop will have to take a long walk. We'll see if Mr. Miguel goes to the Torvis Gate elevator, and if that elevator takes us to Sank Vault. If that elevator takes us to Sank Vault, I'm gonna laugh. Gollop checking out the Spider's treasure and discovering Cobalt Translator in... what is this? Oh, no, that's Violet Translator, excuse me, in Hall of Combat Mastery. That's a pretty big deal, actually, for elevator navigation, but we know it's pretty much useless right now.
Yep, unless our required elevator is a... Well, it's not even required anymore, because we never know where one of the Sanctuary entrances.
I'm trying to remember. Our last three keys are Amorbis...
Main research.
Amorbis, main research, and we got sand processing. Where was the other one? It wasn't in Torvis, right? No, it wasn't in Torvis. think Gallop is thinking about it for a bit. Oh, that's Darkburst in Temple Assembly Site. Yeah, they're not getting that.
Phase on grounds is where the other one was.
That's right. I wonder if Mr. Miguel realizes he is in go mode right now. Because it looks like he's still looking for something, possibly Screw Attack. But for maybe he doesn't know that there are Dark Visor platforms there, which I doubt. I don't think that's actually the case. I think that Trooper just got yeeted by a boost ball.
I mean, don't stand in front of fast-moving objects. I mean, we were taught that in early skill days.
Ay, ay, ay.
It's like, always double-check the road for cars, trucks, buses, bikes, and bus balls. Always have to take a second glance through bus balls, though.
So yeah, the key that Gollop is looking for is in Wind Chamber Gate. So we'll see if Gollop goes there sooner or later. Yeah, it looks like Mr. Miguel's just looking for elevators at this point, not realizing that Aegon Temple leads to Sank Spider.
I mean, the last thing you expect in random elevators is a vanilla elevator.
Right. Oh yeah, it is a vanilla elevator, you're right. I just realized that. I did turn random elevators on, right? No, I'm kidding. I think Mr. Miguel accidentally... Oh, Mr. Miguel's going to save warp from Hive Chamber's save station. That's actually pretty smart, because that is going to put Mr. Miguel close to a Morbus. Oh, nope, it was just a simple safety save.
Maybe save the Morbus Sky Temple key for the end.
It would be pretty convenient to save warp to get that key later for sure. Especially if... I'm just trying to think with where the remaining two keys in Mr. Miguel's case are, where a convenient time to save warp would be. Because main research, you're still a couple of rooms away from a save station. I think Mr. Miguel's safety save to try and attempt Plan of Dark Worship without Dark Suit. Which, if this is Emerald Translator, you might go for. And Dark Oasis contains... That would be Cannonball. Interesting spot for that. Oh, Profane Path has one of our suits. That's not getting picked up.
No, that is Echo and Annihilator lock. So yeah, we don't even know if we'll even see those two items this time.
At the rate we're going, we're probably not. Alright, Gollop has more energy tanks this time for checking hints. Although I don't recall when their last save was.
Yeah, when your super missile hits the blade pods instead of the door.
Mm-hmm. I can safely say I've had my share of those moments. But looks like Mr. Miguel's gonna go grab the Phazon Grounds key now. Ooh, nice job, Gollop, recovering from a Seeker targeting misclick there. And yeah, 280 energy, that's more than enough to read the remaining 3 hints in Gollop's case.
Yeah, so Gollop, reading this information, should find out that the only thing he's missing is an Aegon key.
So yeah, Dark Oasis was not required today. Because yeah, suits are not necessarily required if... Oh, this is going to be interesting. Watching Mr. Miguel do this with Dark Visor only and Cannonball. Getting back is going to be a lot harder than getting over. And Gollop taking an intentional Death Warp there. So with this, Gollop will now return to the Torvis Quadrant via the Aegon entrance. And this will... Oh yeah, because Gollop's still looking for Aegon keys.
But yeah, this brings Mr. Miguel into an ideal situation to take on Amormus.
Yeah, right now Mr. Miguel's only looking for Sanctuary, which we now know is chilling right in Aegon Temple, in Ventilation Area A.
Like, admittedly, going the long way around to get to main research is going to suck, but at the end of the day, it's your final Sky Temple key. It's all you need.
Yeah, the only downside is because of the random elevator shenanigans, save warping sometimes may not be the most effective option. I think from main research, if that's your last key... I think you actually just go back down the elevator and go to Aegon entrance to yeet to Torvis Quadrant to get to Sky Temple as soon as possible that way. I don't think it's faster to go all the way to the save station in Reactor Core.
Yeah, you'll have to deal with Quentin to even unlock that save station in the first place.
Ah, yes, the famous Quad Quentin.
Well known for being stepped on throughout his time in the Sanctuary Fortress Guard.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate, really.
He has such a tragic backstory.
Still not really a tragedy compared to the tragedy of Dark Samus the Wise. Oh, a missile expansion can be found in Temple Grounds. Well, clearly even the logic ran out of ideas here at this point.
It's like, you're not supposed to be here, we're just going to give you random information.
Okay. Yeah, the hints are generally... hints to items are generally placed based on the logic. So when... Oop, Gollop's about to pick up the last Aegon key.
God, please don't do this. Please don't do this.
Okay.
Oh, you went back. Whoa, panic stations.
It's pretty tough to go to escape past Wind Chamber without Screw Attack. But that's go mode for Gollop.
Yeah, Gollop has the advantage of knowing where that Sanctuary elevator is.
Looks like they're going to check not Sank, Torvis Gates elevator to see if that leads to Sank Vault. If it is either Sank Entrance or Sank Vault, that would probably be more preferable. Mr. Miguel attempting to set up a worm skip here. Succeeds. Nope, that elevator is to lower Torvis. That is going to do Golub no good. I'm curious to know why they're going down this elevator.
I mean, there is methods of getting past this statue, but it's not required by the logic of the seed.
Oh, I know why they're doing this, because they currently don't have screw attack, so the only logical way to get to Vault side would be to do the obnoxious to do some obnoxious roll jumping through watch station access, or to do some very obnoxious scan dashes through Sank Temple, and they don't have Annihilator Beam to do that anyway, so they actually don't have a clean way into Vault side. Unless they find screw attack. Which, that actually explains a lot. I'm gonna laugh if this is screw attack right here, because we don't even have progressive grapples turned on, I don't think. No. Missiles. I have a feeling that when I generated this, the randomizer program just gave up, because this seed actually took 3 tries to generate, and the first 2 times the Randovania gave me unsolvable seeds. So I'm wondering if the Randovania just gave up and is like, you know what, here, we'll just stuff everything in Aegon. But hey, there's Echo Visor in Hydro Dynamo Chamber.
I mean, it's free if you had a reason to come down here.
And Golub is taking a save warp. Puts them nice and close to a Morbus. Now let's see if Mr. Miguel guns it straight for the Aegon Temple elevator, because if this is the case, that's going to be seed over. Mr. Miguel, both runners here will definitely have ways of getting around to Sank Vault side without screw attack. Alright, Mr. Miguel is heading in the correct direction.
Yeah, Mr. Miguel has no other reason to come this way, so definitely here to check that elevator out.
And yep, Mr. Miguel's going to realize that this is a perfectly workable elevator. Well, this is one of the jettest seeds I've seen, and that's after commentating the jet seed we had last night of was it last night? 2 nights ago of Bellator versus Z Chaotix.
Yeah, we were expecting that to be a pretty trolly seed, and it turned out to be really fast.
Alright, let's see what Mr. Miguel's going to do here. Mr. Miguel is going to go up to... I wonder if Mr. Miguel's going to try and use Hive Temple out of bounds to get to Sank Vault side.
Yeah, I think if we needed any more clarification that this is a jet seed, Inner Slice is in chat, and Inner Slice has already finished the race.
Yeah, so Inner Slice finished with an official race time GG of 55:26. So, yeah, long story short, this was definitely a jet seed. I don't think I've ever seen an Echoes Weekly go that short before. Even without
Yep.
final bosses.
Yeah, Sub Hour is a new one for me.
That is mental. And yeah, let's see what Mr. Miguel decides to do here. Has a little bit of a health shortage, but can just use the Hive save station to recharge. Oh, nope, looks like Mr. Miguel's just coming out this way. Curious as to why he didn't just go up the elevator in Cat East. Maybe just wanted to check Calling Chamber for a couple of extra goodies. I'm pretty sure they're looking for screw attack so they don't have to do any obnoxious roll jumps through watch station access. Because, yeah, right now that is actually... we actually are technically not in logical go mode. We technically still need a way to Sank Vault side, which requires either screw attack or the Sank entrance elevator, which probably is behind Violet Translator. Sank entrance or Sank Vault, either elevator will work. But yeah, it's probably just chilling behind a Violet Translator elevator at this point.
Yeah, we didn't get much of a exploration around the temple grounds.
No, we just basically saw the typical opening. The typical opening checks of GFMC, the TAS area, the Hive chambers, and that's about it. Nothing really extensive, no Hall of Honor dead. Alright, Mr. Miguel's taking a save here. Let's see what he tries to do. Oh, Inner Slice is telling us Hall of Honor dead was a missile.
Do you think that's the one the hint referred to?
It probably is. Now that you mention it.
It's just the comedy of, oh yeah, we don't have any more hints for you because you probably found everything at this point. Yeah, missile expansion into words.
Yeah, that's pretty hilarious. Like, even the logic, the logic is like, yeah, we're done. What's left for either runner to answer a question in chat? Both runners are actually down to, in Gollop's case, the two keys remaining are main research and phase-on grounds. Mr. Miguel is only looking for main research. To do this, they have to find a way to Sank Vault side without screw attack, which it looks like Mr. Miguel's about to attempt an extended dash in Sank Temple. Ooh, almost made it all the way to the other side. Looks like Mr. Miguel might be thinking about Sank Energy Controller first, though. Try and hope screw attack falls on their lap. We'd like to remind the folks at home, Grapple Beam was in Cache 4 and very free today. Nicely done. I'm not sure Mr. Miguel picked up Grapple Beam now that I think about that.
No, I don't think he did.
Chat's wondering if Mr. Miguel thinks there's bosses, which I hope not. It does say in the seed information, and we've been discussing on the Discord that final bosses were turned off. Alright, Mr. Miguel is going to like to use a BSJ to get up Sank Temple access here. Nicely done. Was that a missile in Sang Temple? Yeah, I think so. And Mr. Miguel nailing the roll jump. Alright, so looks like Mr. Miguel is going to check watch station here and try and open up aerial training site. Yeah, I'm just staring at the edge of my seat, wondering what's going to happen first here at this rate, because Gollop still has to take down or go to Phazon grounds, which is not too far away from Temple grounds, not too far away from Sky Temple Gate.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious as to what our runners are up to. I mean, as commentators, we see everything. We know all the information. We can take notes and remember all the information from both runners. Our runners are, of course, only got their own source. So I wonder what's going through their minds at this point.
Is there a way to, like, climb the access way to Sanctum out of bounds? I wonder. I'm sure the folks in chat know. Oh wow, Mr. Miguel not even bomb jumping up the spider tracks, just using very precise rapid fire trigger presses.
Does everyone remember how to do this puzzle without screw attack?
I do. I had to do it recently. Oh, but the crank shoved away Mr. Miguel. Yeah, that crank and the quads can be brutal in this room.
I do find that crank to be weird because it's like you'd think you'd land on it, and it's like nope, it pushes you off the wall.
Yeah, it's weird. Now, in this instance, looks like Gollop is electing to go to check the save, to go to the save station to return to warp to start. Whereas Mr. Miguel is going to use the elevator. I think Mr. Miguel may have just realized the final boss scenario. I'm actually going to confirm in race time real quick if there's been any conversation. Oh. Yeah, Mr. Miguel just typed in the race time room, where's my screw attack? And
Aegon quadrant for that elevator, so that was very free. That was sitting there all along.
yeah, that was a lucky elevator, because Mr. Miguel must have picked up Violet in Hall of Combat Mastery while we weren't looking. Well, Quentin's in pieces.
Yep, no one will be stepping on him today.
I think Gollop accidentally canceled out of the save instead of warping. We'd like to extend our GGs to Z Chaotix, who has finished in second place with an official race time GG time of 1:04:07. Oh, and Mr. Miguel just realized final bosses were disabled after a comment in the race time. So, potentially very awkward scenario, seemingly averted here on Mr. Miguel's end.
Yeah, Gollum's not got much longer before he picks up that final Sky Temple key, and he's not going to be far away from where the Sky Temple access to be able
No,
to actually finish the game.
No, it's just, did Golub do Path of Eyes all the way? Like, check... Yes, Golub checked Wind Chamber Gate from the Path of Eyes side, so that crystal switch is open. So yeah, it would just be a quick hop down the Aegon Portal elevator to get to Sank Quadrant and just run around GFMC to Sky Temple Gate. Inner Slice asking, did anybody else grab Spider Ball immediately? Yes, both runners grabbed Spider Ball immediately on screen here. Now, Mr. Miguel does have to be a little bit careful with regards to health, because does still have to get in the light field without dying. But I think that's enough HP to do it. We'd like to welcome the folks coming in from SpeedGaming 3. You are joining us at the very tail end here of what has been a very jet Metroid Prime 2 Echoes Randomizer weekly race.
Yeah, and with that, Mr. Miguel has finished with an official time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 48 seconds. Get your GGs in chat.
Yeah, both runners had some minor, that one minor complication between the two of them. Golub was a little late to Wind Chamber Gate, while Mr. Miguel spent a little extra time looking for Skewer Attack. And Mr. Miguel does join us in the Twitch chat. GG's to you. Very well played.
Yep, GG.
So we did notice your brief comment in the race chat, time chat about forgetting that final bosses were turned off. What when did it hit you then? Oh, it was very much wondering how'd you finish so fast. Oh, it was the finishes that did it. Okay. Yeah, Golub is not too far behind you, Mr. Miguel. They're just picking up the last key, just picked up the last key right now and is on their way to Sky Temple Gate from Phazon Grounds. So yeah, this was one of the most jet weeklies we've had in a very long time. Ooh. So, yeah, Lokir brings up a good point in chat. The random elevator seeds are usually not this nice. Today, the randomizer... And I was telling folks in chat when I was generating this, it took 3 tries to get this seed going because the first 2 times the randomizer program couldn't solve the seed, the logic couldn't figure it out. The 3rd time, there were still 30 items left in the to place when it was deciding how to resolve the seed. So I was starting to wonder, wait, to throw a jet seed at us, are we? But, apparently that's the way the rando felt today. But, Golub is on their way to Sky Temple Gate to finish up. Also, Mr. Miguel, what did you think about that nice cannonball location? Did it make Did it make some things easy for you near the end? Says it's very convenient. Indeed, yeah. Cannonball actually was a big savior last week. In last week's weekly, which was not restreamed, we had a key on Ing Reliquary, and one of the suits was in a very bad spot, if memory serves. It was in Airy, I think. Was it Airy? I think it might have been Airy. Something important was in Airy.
That sounds like a not very nice location for a suit. Especially if you have to go to Reliquary.
Actually, I think I remember the suit was Echo locked, like in Sentinel's Path or something, and Echo was vanilla. Maybe. But with that, Gollop finishes with an official race time GG of time of, if I could find it, 1:15:16. And amongst our community racers, Mr. Miguel will place third and Gollop fourth.
GG to both of you. So first weekly back, and it's a jet seed.
Indeed, and Asder has just finished with an official race time GG time of 1:16:29.
So the problem is I think that we've now set the bar so high that I think every seed after this is going to be terrible.
I don't think Gollop usually does not join for interviews, so I'm not sure if they will be joining us. I will I will ask the question in the race time if they are amenable.
Yeah, for anyone wondering, these interviews are entirely optional. You don't have to take part in them just because you're on the restream. I know there's some seeds of games that I finished and I'm just like, nope, I don't want to talk about it. I want to forget this seed ever happened.
Alright, and Op82 has just finished with an official race, Gollop has declined an interview. And Mr. Miguel's Mr. Miguel is also going to decline a booth interview after being informed of it as well, so we will not be getting any interviews in the booth today from our runners, but once again, GG's to both of them. They put on a fantastic performance in this utterly jet seed. Let this not be a sign of things to come, folks. We do promise that there will be some very interesting setups, seeds and setups coming in the future. So when we come back next week for the even weekly settings, we will have no starting items and standard elevators. And we're finalizing a couple of settings, which we will get back to you on Saturday when we do come back on the air. But with that being said, please follow both of our runners. We will... okay, good. The bot has woken up. That is the best news.
Are you serious?
1 second, folks. That is not how you spell weekly. I guess we don't have a command for that. We'll just use the tournament one then. But yes, folks, follow both of our runners. And we also want to shout out Callum Chiss, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, our tracker today, who has done an amazing job pressing all the buttons, making sure everybody knows who has what, especially considering how many items were popping up in the first 15 minutes. So major props to Callum Chiss for that. And Thoris, thank you so much for joining me here in the booth for this weekly.
Yep, thank you for having me, Captain. It has been a quick one, but who knows what the rest of the seeds can generate for us.
Indeed, and right now we do not have any tournament matches scheduled for the near future, but we will get back to you on how that is playing along. We are approaching the end of the Metroid Prime 2 Randomizer 2021 tournament. There are 4 runners remaining, one of which is currently waiting for his opponent in the grand finals while the lower brackets play out. With that said, folks, Thoris, is there anything else you want to say before we close out?
I mean, if you can't wait, there is also the Metroid Prime 1 weekly tomorrow, but we're not sure if that's going to be restreamed yet. We need to see how busy the SpeedGaming schedule is.
Indeed, we will we will let you folks know. As always, I should say, keep in touch with the Speed Gaming schedule for the latest updates. But with that said, folks, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your weekend, and we will see you next mission.
Take care, everybody.